and we talk about mental health from their personal journeys. If you have not already, hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead, do that now so that you never miss an episode. Hello, good evening, or I guess good morning, depending where you're at or where you're watching. But right now it's evening for me.
It's evening for me too, so.
Right, yeah, because we're samesies here.
Yes.
Yeah. I always look at that beginning, and first off, I miss my glasses. But second off, my hair was so cute, but look how long it is now. Like, it's so,
I was gonna say, it's getting longer.
right? So long now. Could need use a wash. Tomorrow's hair wash day, so it's fine, but it's longer. All right, so as some of you might notice, we have a returning guest. Yay! Oh wait, I think there's like a hold on. I always forget that there's those little things that lay on the side, because I get really into the conversation, and then I forget there's things over here, but they're kind of fun when I remember them. Um, so we have J.M. Shaw. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. We're shoveled out from our winter storm, and we're just warming up this week. So,
Oh my gosh, because you have to remind me, you're much up north compared to me.
yeah, I'm in southern Alberta.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So you're much colder.
A little
Um,
bit.
Yeah, I mean, we had some snow today, but not a storm. We did have a couple earlier in the year. Actually, while we were in Cuba, we got the one
Okay.
storm. That seems to happen for us. We're really lucky that way that the snowstorms come while we're in Cuba. Because yeah, there was like 2 snow days while we were away, and I'm like, huh, all right,
Maybe
cool.
you timed it. You're in cahoots with the weatherman.
I think so. I do. I think so. Which is totally fine. I always say, if you're gonna have snow, it should be enough to shut things down, is my
Mm,
opinion. But
yeah.
yeah. Although my work never shuts down, so who am I kidding?
Well, in our case, it just freezes the doors shut, so you can't get out of the house.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's a couple girls that like live much farther away. See, I'm only 5 minutes, so it's like, oh, well, you can make it in. It's like, oh, okay. No, I don't mind. I like the girls that I work with, so it's all good. But for those who do not know who you are, I mean, go back and watch the other episode. But introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm an author. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I am an older sister of 4 brothers.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I
I'm
realized that.
yeah. I'm the only girl, the oldest and the only girl. I thought my sole purpose in life was to babysit, and I made my brothers pay. Got really good at practical jokes. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm also the author of the Callum Walker series. I have my first 4 books, and it's a dark magic fantasy. Got lots of action adventure, some supernatural suspense because I get bored easily. Um, yeah, exactly. So the first 4 books are published. My 5th book is in the works. I'm also doing some side projects, so we'll see what happens in the future with that.
You missed something very important. Do you know what you missed that
I'm
was very important?
I'm fabulous.
Yes, but not the thing I was thinking of. We were just talking about it before we started recording.
Yes.
You
I
didn't mention.
have, yeah, no, I was gonna get to that.
Okay.
Because I've been writing and I switched editors with my 4th book, and my editor did such an amazing job. I thought, I've grown and gained as an author. I'm gonna go back to the beginning, and I'm going to relaunch my first book with new material, typos fixed, new chapters, clarifying things, fancy new cover,
It is very
and
fancy.
relaunch my first book in the series.
Still
So,
not the very important thing I was talking about. However, it is very important. It is. However, what I
yes.
was talking about was. Wait, hold on, wait.
Oh
You can see
yeah.
mine way back there for everyone who's watching. There's Zenny. He's a goodest boy.
I'll
And
see if I can get my doggo to jump up here. Glamour, come here. Say hi. Come on, up, up. Well, she doesn't want to jump up, but let's see if I can do this. Glamour. There she is.
oh, that is
She's
the most
my mascot.
right. That is the most important thing that you missed saying. However, all of the other
Yes.
stuff is very super exciting, and I do love the cover. We're gonna get to that at the end. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. And I guess now I have to reread book 1 because if you added stuff, well, I don't really want to miss out. But we'll get back to that. So let's. I can't even. Silly me. I was gonna rewatch our episode, but like I didn't. But I know that. I know that we talked mostly about ADHD, I feel like, in the
Hmm.
last one. And I was like,
Yes.
girl, you have to come back because we got to talk about autism. And you're like, girl,
Yes.
yes, let's do it. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe we'll make another show because I also have dyslexia, which is fun as a writer.
Oh, then you will
It's the
have
kind
to
of the
return.
Yeah, it's kind of like the trifecta of
Yeah.
issues. Not issues. I mean,
Yeah.
superpowers that
It's
can
the
be
hat
issues at
trick.
times. Yeah,
It's the hat
exactly.
trick. Or what's the horse race one where they oh, what
I have
is
no
it?
idea. I don't watch horse races.
Okay. My sister sometimes watches, so I'm calling her out. You might know because she used to ride horses. What's the thing where they win all the three cups? The three horse things. Anyways, somebody put in the chat for me, please. I need to know. I can't remember it. I'm sure I could Google it, but I don't want to. Somebody else do it for me. Okay, so now that that whining is out of the way, let's talk. Like I said, we're gonna talk autism. So start your story wherever makes the most sense. And you know what I'll do? I'm just gonna interrupt.
So, growing up, I honestly felt like I was an alien dropped off on this planet, and they forgot to give me the script. And I'm trying to muddle my way through life, and it was easier in elementary, but as I got into like junior high and high school, I did not know how to talk to people. I didn't even know how to like I struggled even to make eye contact because literally if you're looking at somebody in the eyes, they're peering into your soul. It doesn't feel
Right?
very comfortable. Yes, so I
So
forced myself to do it. But
which is amazing, and I try in person to do it, but it's just so
so
sometimes
yeah.
I'll do like the little clips to stick on like TikTok and YouTube shorts or whatever, and I'm watching and I look at myself, I'm like, I look like I'm not paying attention at all, and I'm like, but I'm so engrossed in this conversation, but because I'm not looking, because even on screen I don't, the eye contact on screen even, I'm just like, no. And so I look
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't look interested, but guys, I so am, I
Yeah.
totally am.
I know. Well, I kind of figured that, so I can either focus on somebody's eyes and look them in the eyes, but I can't focus on what they're saying, or I can look away and actually hear them and
Exactly.
then
Yeah.
sort my ideas out. So a lot of people think the same thing. I'm not paying attention because I'm not looking them in the eyes, but I can. It's just that's all I'm thinking of.
Right? I'm
Uh,
just concentrating so hard. Must look, must look, must look. That
yeah, it's
the
like
words.
1,000, 2, 1,000. Oh, I reached 4, 1,000. Okay, gotta look away because it's
Yep,
awkward
yep.
now. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up, I was very much a geek, very introverted. I spent a lot of time watching people, trying to figure out how to converse with people and stuff
Oh,
because I didn't
people
know how to.
watching is so fun.
Yeah. Well, and trying to understand like why people behave the way they do. So I started recording conversations so that I could figure out how to talk to people. And I'd
Oh,
be
I
like,
never knew
okay,
that one.
yeah, so and so said this. Oh, this was the reply. Oh, there's a smile in there. That must be what I need to say when somebody says that to me. I had notebooks of conversations. And I mean, I did other things too. Like I built a working seismograph and buried it in my backyard when I was 12. And
That's cool.
I made a sundial on my windowsill, but I got grounded because I used permanent marker and white paint. So my mom was not very appreciative of that.
That's awesome. I really love it.
Yeah, but it did help to kind of spawn my creativity because I'm a very much out of the box thinker, and
Mhm.
watching people my entire life, it kind of got me to thinking about like, well, what if they're doing this because of this, and just different what ifs and different scenarios. And I talk with my hands a lot, apparently. Sorry.
Me too. No, I
Yeah.
totally do.
Yeah. So, it just kind of built my creativity trying to understand people from I didn't know what they were doing, why they were doing the things they were doing. So I tried to invent stories. And then also, too, because I was so introverted and emotionally, like I wanted friends, I wanted to interact, but I didn't know how. And I was going through the preteen years
Right.
heading into teenagerhood, and when your emotions are in turmoil and your hormones are all over
It's
the
the
place and that kind of
worst.
stuff. Yeah, so that's when I started writing because I needed to understand my emotions, and the safest place I could think of was to give my characters my emotions and see how they dealt with things. And then it kind of grew from there. And I always say I was presenting to a school of grade fives, and I told them how I started. My mom bought me a typewriter, and I'm going through all the different elements of writing and publishing and fiction and show don't tell and all those kind of things. And then after an hour and a half, it's like, what's a typewriter? And I'm like, oh, right. Yes, so I'm really old. Or at least I felt old that day. I guess I'm not because they still have typewriters now. But
Yeah. They're
yeah,
making a comeback. Well, not like the typewriter itself, but like the typewriter keyboard part is really making a comeback,
yeah,
which I kind
yeah.
of like because it is really a satisfying. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD at the same time, because there's a lot of crossovers,
Mm-hmm.
it was in 2019.
Okay.
And looking back throughout my life, it totally made sense. I was able to look at it's like, that's why I did that. That's why I'm like cursed to count and add numbers. Like to this day, I still add the numbers on license plates until I get a single
Oh,
digit. If
there
it's
you
an
go.
odd number, I hate it. It's bad. Unless it's
Oh, so
divisible
does my kid.
evenly. If it's got a remainder and you can't break it evenly, like 9 is okay. It's an odd number, but you can break it evenly into threes. I don't know. It's weird,
Oh, okay. So you
but
like things that have like a nice square root
they're
whole
easily
number.
divisible.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no remainders or leftovers, and
Okay.
then those ones make me feel happy. I don't know why. It's weird because
Yeah, my kid's the same way. It has to be even, has to be even. So we have three
mm-hmm.
dogs. So she keeps going, we need another dog. So we're not getting another dog. But it needs to be even. I go, we have 8 animals. That is even. But it's only 3
Yeah,
dogs and then it's 5 cats, so it's not even. I'm like,
yeah,
well, that's
categories, right?
it's not happening. Like we
Yeah,
have too
it's
many as
important.
it is. We have overreached the cap of what I ever thought. So no. No.
Yeah, no, I was
Um yeah.
I very much empathize with that.
So I am reaching way back into the recesses of my brain. um, I want to say it was you that I talked to that said that you went and got diagnosed because of your kids.
Yep. And
Yes.
a lot of women actually, I mean men too, but there's a lot more women who are missed
Mm-hmm.
early on because well when I grew up there's just unless you
Autism wasn't a thing, right?
yeah, exactly. Like, unless you struggled in school or you were disruptive or you were not very high functioning at all, or you couldn't function at all, they didn't
Mm-hmm.
really even give you the time of day. It's just like, ADHD was, oh, they just need more discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And, even with dyslexia, like I tell this story to others, is I remember using my bookmark, and I'll use my cell phone as an example, but I'd get to the end of the
Oh,
line and I'd
yes.
lose my weight, I'd lose my place coming back. So I'd have my bookmark and then I'd just bring it down and then bring it down for the
That
next line.
is a really useful
Mhm.
trick for people with
Yes.
dyslexia. Like basically everyone on their show that has had that, or I guess you still
Hmm.
do. You don't really. Anyways,
Doesn't go
um,
away.
right.
Yeah.
But who have shared they have it. That is
Yeah.
the trick they use.
Yeah. So then I used that because I could, like the lines would jump around and I get lost coming back to the next line. And my teacher at the time came along and took my bookmark away and said, that is not how you read. You read with your eyes, not with your hands. And then, because it just wasn't known. So me being
Yeah.
the little brat that I was, is fine. I'm going to use my finger. You can't take that away.
I would
So I
probably be
use
the same way.
yeah, so I use my finger. And I mean, even nowadays, like once I understood, I'd come up with all these little techniques to get
Yeah.
through life and to deal with it because there was no when I was a kid, there was no like early intervention
Yeah.
or school help or allowances for any sort of mental health. Like
Yeah.
anxiety in kids was just, oh, whatever. They're too young to be anxious.
Right, you've got nothing
And
to. Oh, you got nothing to be anxious about. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I was like, what are you anxious about? You don't have bills. Look at your parents. And I
Mm,
mean, so
yeah.
yeah, that was one of my things. I also learned that because I miss words or I miss letters, if they're so a funny story. I think I probably told this one before, but
It's okay.
I I had my character go out to assess the situation, but they missed one of the S's at the end, and I didn't realize it because I couldn't see it. And spell checker didn't alert me because it was technically spelt correctly. My editor caught it and flagged it and said multiple donkeys question mark. And I was like,
You
yeah,
did
I
not
guess
share that story. I would have
I guess.
remembered that one.
And I mean, there's the odd one like, why are they quacking? Oh, they're supposed to be quaking. Why are they having a snake? No, it's snack.
So
Those like,
yeah, I don't have dyslexia, but down and done, I always have to stop and think about it. I don't know
yes.
why, but it's those 2 words specifically, down and done. I always mix them up when it comes to spelling for no particular rhyme or
Tuesday.
reason. Yeah.
For me, it's the word Tuesday. I cannot, for the life of me, spell it right the first time.
Yeah.
But it looks right both ways, and I have to actually say a little poem in my head That was one of the
Oh,
things that figured it out. Like I can say little poems in my head and
yeah.
figure out. So it's 2S day. That's how I say it when I'm writing
Oh,
it. And I mean,
yeah.
to this day, I still get my little B's and little D's backwards.
Yep.
So I have to go, what is it? The little thing like bed. I guess it's kind of backwards for here, but the
Yeah, yeah.
B is on the head of the bed and the D is the foot of the bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's another really good little trick.
Yeah.
I like
Yep.
that. Um, I had a question. Where to go? Okay, so veering a little bit back on track. We don't really
Yeah.
do that on this show.
Oh yeah.
So I want to talk about because I was the same way. I didn't go get my diagnosis till my kid had theirs for a couple years, and I just kept saying, "What are you talking about? She's just like me. What are you talking about? She's just like
Exactly.
me."
It's
Well,
like that's what I do. Why is that a red flag? Yeah, exactly.
right. So talk about your experience with that. What brought you to actually go and get diagnosed?
So when my kids were growing up, I was trying to compare them. Like, apparently, I've got a couple brothers on the spectrum, but to me, it was my whole world. I remember people saying, "You have two very busy boys." I didn't know what that meant because it was my whole life. And when you have nothing else to compare them to,
Yes.
then how are you going to know anything else? And then I babysat a 19-year-old little girl, and I thought she was broken because she sat there quietly and played. She wasn't trying to dive bomb somebody off the couch or hit them over the head with a Buzz Lightyear. And I'm just like, wow, kids can actually sit and play like quietly? Like they're not
And
screaming at the top of their lungs every second?
I feel like it's hard too because I mean, little kids are rambunctious.
Yes.
Boys do tend to be more rambunctious. So it is that
Yes.
fine line of are they just
Hmm.
rambunctious kids or
Yes.
is there something else?
There was other things. There
Oh,
was
for
stimming
sure.
behaviors. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was they'd go to the park and instead of playing with the kids, they just played with the rocks. And I thought, "Oh, they just like rocks." They wouldn't play with the kids. They never did. And even like playing with the toys. Like my little guy, we had a little Fisher Price thing. It was like a little construction set with like a claw, and he'd just lay there and just go open, close, open, close for hours.
Hey, it's
Yeah,
entertaining.
yeah. And then he would dance around the room, and we thought he was. It turned out it was stimming, or he would go like this when he was little, and we're like, oh, he looks like a little worried man.
My kid would do that one. She liked to
Yeah.
talk to herself. Like when
Yep.
they tell you to just let them cry themselves to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, well that doesn't work when they're cool with just talking to themselves all
Yeah. Yeah.
night
Exactly.
long.
Yes. Well, the eating issues, like I had no idea, like sensory issues with food. And this is before we got diagnosed.
Yeah.
And we went to the picky eating classes and they kept telling us, just present the food to them. If they're hungry, they'll eat it. They will not starve themselves. And I'm like, my son has
Mm-mm.
refused to eat for over 12 hours, going on 18 hours. I mean, is
Yep.
that not the definition of, he's losing weight? And then they had the disclaimer, well, if they have sensory issues, that's not what you do. Thanks for the disclaimer after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's a very
again, how
long
are
day.
you supposed to know until you try those other
Yeah,
things? Yeah.
exactly. So it was interesting. But then when we were going through when he started into preschool, and
Okay.
then they saw, like, I had a really good teacher, and they had seen some social, like the not playing with other kids, the stimming
Mm-hmm.
behaviors, the fixated on things. With my first son. My second son was different. He had a full on speech delay, but by that time,
Oh.
my oldest had already been diagnosed. But,
Okay.
he had more those red flags. But my oldest one, it was my first kid. I didn't know. They did. They saw things. They had their visiting psychologist come in and assess him. And then they sat down with me and said, we just wanted to talk to you about like some social communication things that we've noticed. And
Oh.
and I was just like, okay. And then they're like, just so we're on the same page, we can't say anything, but what are you thinking when we say that? And I was like, well, it sounds like you're saying he might have autism. And they're like, okay, good. So long as we're on the same page. And I'm like, wait, what? And then, so they ended up, I went to the doctor. The doctor said, oh, this is what I hate. He makes eye contact. He's he's very playful. He talks fairly well. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
because I encouraged the eye contact from the time he was opening his eyes.
Yeah.
I've talked to him, so he learned to talk to me. But it was all those little things that they didn't see.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to get a private assessment, and they found out that him, and then later on, my youngest son,
Yeah.
both very much on the spectrum. But when we were doing it, it was the ADOS assessment. So it's very in depth.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, again, like you said, going through that assessment, all those red flags, I'm like, why is that a red flag? I've done that my whole life. Oh,
Right?
yeah. So 3 months, literally 3 months after he was assessed, I received my own diagnosis because I went through an ADOS assessment with a registered psychologist. It was
Hmm.
money out of my pocket because they don't do it for adults.
No, they do
So,
not. Many out my pocket
yeah.
too, but totally worth it in the end to have an
Yes.
answer and be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh. So,
Yes.
parent to parent, when you finally got the diagnosis,
Mm-hmm.
for we're talking about for your kids as a parent,
Yes.
what was your reaction?
Um, a little bit scared for them, like how is their future going to be? And then it was, but this, and it really doesn't change who they are.
Hmm.
And I got through life without any intervention, without any early help. And I thought, I mean, maybe it's fortuitous that I was also diagnosed, and so I can help them by telling them the things that I did to get through life. And that's what I've done, for the most part. And then to help them to learn, figure out their own things along the way.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours was so Lev got diagnosed at 8, so it took us a long time. But again, girls, as you
Mm-hmm.
know, take much longer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it really came down to that the social piece. Because
Yes.
like the teacher had to fill out their reports and stuff too, and it came down to, well, she's in grade 3 and she's playing with the kids, but really she's playing beside the kids and not really
Yes.
interacting with them. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like a giant red flag going, this is what like a toddler does. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the big thing. Because again, like you said, unless they're struggling in school, which in
Yeah.
grade 3, that's when it really exploded, the struggles in school.
Yeah.
But if they can talk to you and sound intelligent enough, well, it's
Mm-hmm.
fine. He's
Yeah.
fine.
Kind of get missed. Yeah.
Right? For us though, it was like, ha! I told y'all there was something wrong. Like it was vindication.
Yes.
But it really does help to then get them help because especially I don't know how Alberta is, but in Ontario, unless you have that piece of paper from a doctor with some word written on it, it can't be ADHD here. ADHD doesn't
Yes.
count.
Yes. That's very.
Stupid.
It's similar here
Oh.
too. Yeah.
But once you have that word autism on a piece of paper from a doctor, now we can get support. Now you can get
Yes.
help. Now the teachers won't look at you like you're just being disruptive. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yep.
cool. That's super
They'll
cool.
give
Yeah.
they don't necessarily have extra staff or money in school budgets to help out, but what they do allow is extra time on tests, going to a
Yeah.
quiet room to do tests and stuff. So, there's those situations. And somebody was saying, "Why are you getting your kid diagnosed? They're just going to have this label that's going to, carry with them." I mean, in all honesty, in my life, unless I tell people as an adult, unless I tell people that I have autism, nobody knows because
Right?
I'm a master at masking it. I mean, as women, we are. And
Exactly.
there's so many adults out there that probably have autism, but they
Yes.
haven't been diagnosed, and maybe they've been thought of as being a little quirky, you know?
Exactly. Whenever I go on like other people's show to promote my crap, and sometimes that question of what is one word you would use to describe yourself? Quirky is the one I always pick.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the best word.
Yes.
I know at work sometimes, like at my day job, sometimes they'll say something, be like, "Oh, I never thought of that." I go, "It's just my autism brain. It's just how it works."
Think from different perspectives. We are the out of the box thinkers,
Right. So it works really well when you've got a diverse group of brains working on
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
So what makes
Yeah.
the world much more interesting.
Yeah, we're not afraid to look at things from angles that other people may not even consider because
Right.
we're not stuck in that mindset.
Right. Until we get
Pardon me, sorry.
overwhelmed and then we're just stuck. 'Cause,
Oh yeah, then
well,
we're the computer that has to restart.
right. I do that sometimes. My kid's favorite saying is, "Oh, I was restarting the Wi-Fi." That's what she always
Yes.
says.
Yeah.
I always say, "Oh, my brain froze." Hold on.
We call it brain fart.
Oh, there you go. I have heard that
Yeah.
term before. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
my favorite though. I'm
Now I
restarting
have
the
kids, so I
Wi-Fi.
can just say I've got the mom brain.
Oh,
so I can blame
there
them.
you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember being pregnant. I was the pregnancy brain, which is a true thing. Like it is a real
It
thing.
is, and it doesn't go away whenever when you have kids. It
No,
continues. It's a
exactly.
change in your brain, physical, measurable, qualitative, not just, or sorry, yeah, qualitative, not just quantitative, both of
Right?
those. Yeah.
Exactly. Um, so, I mean, that's what, we're going on almost 7 years ago because you said 2019. Woo! It's a long
I
time
know,
now.
right?
It's craziness, crazy. Um, has anything changed since you got your diagnosis?
I've given myself permission to ask if I don't understand something. And that was the biggest change, I think, is, not thinking of it as, I really try hard not to think of it as a disability. It's
Hmm.
just my brain works different and I can learn things like communicating with others. It's just that I have to actively learn it, where it would come naturally to somebody who is neurotypical,
Hmm.
like, say, for example, with my oldest, he wanted to talk to kids at the park, but he didn't know how to start a conversation. So
Yeah.
he would just come up to a kid and just stand there right in front of their face. Like, I want a conversation to happen. I just don't know how to do it. So with him, I had to step aside with him and say, hey, we need to learn to talk to kids. So we came up with a script. Hi, my name is Morgan. What's your name? Do you want to play? You have to wait for him to get back to you. So it was like these step by step things that would come naturally to another kid. But for
Hmm.
him, we had to learn it. We had to model play behavior. I had to literally get down there on my hands and knees. I don't play with toys, but I had to show him how to play with toys. That
Yeah.
should be easy for a kid. So giving myself permission to not know something and ask, a very good profile. Yes.
Right? So handsome. Oh, he's going back to
Yeah.
sleep. So
I don't know
handsome.
about I don't know about you, but I don't like, have you, and sorry, I'm going to pose a question to you
Yeah, do
as
it.
another mom. What bothers me, and not so much that it's insulting or something, but when people say, we're all a little autistic. And it's not like I'm growing 3 ears or superpowers, but
Yeah.
to me, that says there's a lack of education. So what I say to that
Yes.
is that if you're driving down a highway in a hailstorm and you've got one person in a semi truck and you got another person in a motorcycle, technically you're both drivers, but you're both going to have different challenges, right? So yes, we're both drivers, but we're going to be things are going to impact us differently. Things are going to affect us, and when things affect every day of your life, lots, throughout every day, um, then it's more than just a little,
Hmm. Oh, I like that analogy. I'm gonna steal it. Stole it. It's mine
By
now.
all means, yes.
That is a great analogy. Yeah, it annoys me when people say that because there is, like you said, it's different. It's not. I'm trying to think of the words. A lot of times, I feel like when people say it to me or around me, especially those that don't know that I'm autistic, that's the best. Is when people say it and they don't know there's an autistic person standing right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And somebody will say that, and I just kind of look at them, and all I think is, okay, so like, yeah, we all have issues, like you said, like everybody's
yeah.
got something, whatever. But does your brain go a million miles a minute in 10 different directions, all because you're trying to figure out what somebody's hand gesture meant? Because you
Yeah,
can't
or
figure out what that
yes,
meant. And
yes.
you're so overwhelmed by that one small, insignificant thing that most people wouldn't
Hmm.
even notice, but you notice
Yeah,
that one small thing. That now you're so fixated on it that you're not
you
paying
can't
attention
hear
to the
anything
actual
else.
conversation. You're not
Yeah,
really looking at them. So then people are getting annoyed with you and you're starting to stim. And for some people, it's obvious. For me, I do a toe wiggle thing usually when I'm
yeah. I usually
at
do
work or in public.
fingers or a spin or click
Right,
my fingers.
exactly. I always have rings on, so I'll take
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
ring and I'll
Oh
put it
yeah, and
like
just
near
like
the
off and
top and
on.
like,
Yeah.
right? So it's not super noticeable and
Hmm.
it's just kind of like, oh, that's just, a fun little
You're
thing, but
fidgeting,
it's you're
right?
literally doing it because there's so much happening.
Yes, and it gives you
When
something to ground you, to focus you, right?
exactly. So,
Yeah,
no, we're not all a little autistic. We're all a little
yeah,
different. Everybody is
absolutely.
different.
Yes.
Everybody. But when it comes to autism, it's how different your brain is making the life
Hmm.
difficulty levels.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like I always say, like, oh, I hate that when people say, well, you don't look autistic. And I'm like, can you see my thoughts? Can you see my brain processing and stuff? I mean, I can't see yours, so who knows? Maybe you could be. Or right after I was diagnosed, I had somebody asking me, which I'm fine with this. What's it like to be autistic? And I said, I don't know. Can you tell me what it's like to not be? Because it's all I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, couple
I
things.
take things very literal, so.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, I have
Yeah.
3 things now because you just added to my pile. One, when we're talking, because we talked about stimming a little bit, and as I'm sitting here, because earlier I said, well, I always look like I'm uninterested. So I am able to focus right now. You know what I'm doing that nobody can see is I am. Okay, so my legs are just that little bit of stub on them. Okay, so it feels really cool to me to take the nails on my leg hair and just go psh
Yeah.
and feel.
Yeah.
That's
The
what
rasping?
yeah,
Yeah.
that is my stim right now and how I'm focusing.
Yes.
That is not a normal, I don't like that, typical kind of thing. All right, it's just
I'm
not.
constantly down here doing this on my
Right?
hand, or I don't know, like I notice it when I notice it, I stop. But I've been my chair back
Right?
and forth, and I
I do the
notice that
same
I
thing.
tend to do that a lot.
Right? I'm always
Yeah.
up and back and forth. I'm a
Yeah.
rocker back and forth, right? So like it's
Yes.
those things you don't but they're so easy to just dismiss,
Hmm.
especially in
Yeah.
females, right?
Yes.
Because they're
Yes.
not giant gestures or they're so small that you don't even notice them. So that was
Well,
the
we
one
get
thing.
really good at hiding them
Oh, so good.
to fit in, so
So
that people don't
good.
notice us. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And then oh, there was something else that you were saying and then it triggered me and I wanted to say
The
something.
literalness.
Well, that was third thing. There was a second thing, but I don't remember what the second thing is. So the third thing. Oh, the third thing, which is now becoming the second thing.
Looking, yeah. I was talking about when people say you don't look autistic, or when people say what's it like to be autistic.
Oh, right. Yeah. So
Yes.
when you're saying that, people used to say to me, and this was because we talked about pet peeves. This was one of my biggest pet peeves, and you might have had this too, where so for Lav, like I said, it was some serious issues going on at school by the time she got diagnosed. Like I'm talking hardcore, being called to the school multiple times a day, having to go and pick her up, like just it was bad, real bad. I keep trying to get her to come on the show and share, and she's like, yeah, maybe one day. And then I'll be like, hey, my guests cancel. You want to come? No, I'm playing. Okay. Like she's not opposed to doing it. It just has to be in her timeline.
Yes.
So maybe one day. It'll be a super special episode. But my biggest thing was people used to be like, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to leave. She's having a meltdown at school again. I gotta go. Right. Back when I was working in social services even at the time.
Yes.
Burnout is real. And
yeah.
people, my coworkers say to me, oh man, I don't know how you do it.
You just have to.
Exactly. I'm just like,
You can't not.
just give them the like whoever is listening to this on the podcast. It's just a look. That's just like duh. Like, what? That is a very stupid thing that just came out of your mouth. It's my kid. I don't have a choice. Like you just do it.
Yeah. I mean, they scream pretty loud. It's kind of hard to ignore them.
Right. I mean, I guess
I've
I
had
can put some duct tape on their mouths, shove them in a
yeah.
closet. I do not recommend.
I think some people frown on that.
Right? Do not recommend. Okay.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't take this out of context. It's all one
And
sentence.
there's a
do not
difference.
recommend.
I had to explain that to many people, like especially like even my mom. There's a difference between a temper tantrum and a meltdown. A temper tantrum is usually they're acting up because they want something. You give it to them, they stop. They're fine. A meltdown is they are completely overloaded. They cannot calm themselves down, and it can go on for hours, and they need help. They cannot.
And it can be violent.
Yeah. It can. And I mean, I've had my kids crying till they puke. I've had my son, my youngest he was very much like this, where, he would destroy his bedroom. He was 3. He broke my ribs at 3.5, sent me to the urgent care because he's sitting on my lap and I'm looking over his shoulder. What are you doing? And like this right in the eye with a sprinkler head, the kind that goes,
oh, yes.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, like this. And he's laughing because he doesn't understand what he's done.
Right. Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Lots of those stories.
And the literalness.
So glad I remembered part 2. And then number 3, literalness. So just last night, my husband told me a joke. I don't friggin' remember what it is now, but he told me a joke because he didn't think it was funny, but he's like, oh, she's gonna find it funny. He said it to me, and I laughed so friggin' hard. And he goes,
yeah,
I love how you will only find jokes funny if they're literal.
Yeah.
So let me tell you my most favorite joke in the world. Most favorite joke.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Why can't a T-Rex clap?
His arms are too small?
Because it's dead.
Oh. Sorry, that is funny.
Right? It is my most favorite joke in the world.
I have, it's not a joke, but I have a situation that, demonstrates my literalness.
Give me.
So when my kids were really little and they would go to the park, and now my kids are half Chinese.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know
they, it's noticeable that they're not full Caucasian. No Caucasian is full Caucasian because we're all a mix of something.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I had another mom come up to me and says, "Oh, your kids, they're mixed, right?" And yeah, they are. And she's like, "So I knew what she meant, but in my head it's not what she said. She said, "What is their father?" And I said, "A man." Because I'm like, that's what you asked.
Yep.
And what she wanted to know was, what nationality is he? Because she asked the next question is like, no, what nationality is he's Canadian? It's just like, no, where does his ancestry? Oh, you mean, okay, he's Chinese.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Like, if you're not specific,
Yeah.
like, I know there'll be times, and this is something that you had mentioned earlier when you're like, you've started giving yourself permission.
Yes.
That's something that took me a long time because I was diagnosed probably 5-6 years ago too now, because it was COVID time. And one of the big things that I've had to work really hard at, and it's really only become mildly successful in the last year, was the permission to not always know the answer and to not have to pretend to know the answer.
Yes.
So like in school or whatever, if the teacher would ask, unless I was 100,000% sure, I would not answer. Like, just, not gonna happen. Because I don't want to look stupid. Well, guess what? If it's a question and it's material that we're just learning, you're just learning it. You don't know it.
Yeah.
Wow. Mind blown with that piece of knowledge that should not have blown my mind.
I remember. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But then now, like, people at work will say, oh, you need to do this or that. Or even my husband will say, it will try to explain something. And instead of pretending like I know what's actually happening, I'll be like, I have no idea what you mean. You need to be more specific in that question because I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I know with me, idioms and like sarcasm is very difficult for me to understand when it's coming from somebody else. I can give it because I understand what I'm saying and I'm I'm
the
giving
giver
it.
of it, yeah.
But being the recipient of it and idioms, I don't like, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I literally picture somebody with a little baby tub and they're throwing it out the window. But I know we had somebody over and they were a computer teacher and they said that they were teaching a class and one of the guys has his girlfriend come to class and she's, she knows a lot about computers. So she was giving him the gears and I had to stop him and was like, wait, I didn't know computers had gears. And he's like, no, it's a saying. I was like, what does it mean? It means she's giving him a hard time. And I was like, well, why don't people just say that?
Right.
It's so confusing. Right. But
yeah.
a lot of them I've just had to memorize, but my husband
that's what I was going to say. You have to just know what it is, not like,
yes.
Yeah.
But I still picture it, like bend over backwards. I picture somebody literally bending over backwards.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
But then I'm like, no, I know this one.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
My kid was really bad for that. Like she's way better at it now because she's had to learn it. But like before you would say something sarcastic and me and my husband are so sarcastic. Like we're sarcastic assholes. Shh. So we'd say, and her feelings would be hurt. And by no means did I ever mean that, right?
Yes.
And so I'm like, no, baby, I'm just being sarcastic. I'm so sorry. Whatever. Now though, she gets it, which is good because she learned it. But she gives it so hard. Ooh, girl.
Yeah. I had to explain to my son because my younger one, he's 9 now. 9 going on 90. But he didn't know how to tell jokes appropriately. And I said, he would just blurt out some random thing and you're like, is that a joke? What? It's like, I'm going to go and throw something off the roof. Is he joking? So then I had to say, okay, you need to follow it up with just kidding. Right. So then it became, mommy, you're ugly. Haha, just kidding. And I'm like, okay, that's not a joke. If it hurts somebody's feelings, it's not a joke. So he loves his yo mama jokes.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, so he's giving me yo mama jokes, and I said something to him. Him and his brother were standing side by side. I said, "You know what? Between you, there's two brain cells, and you're both competing for third." And they're both looking at me like, "Huh, huh?" And then my oldest was like, "Oh, ha, I get it." So, but it was like 2 minutes later. It's like
Yeah.
crickets for a while there, and then he's like, "Ha, Mom, that's not nice." But then my youngest never got it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
But it was
that's
just
funny.
funny.
There's so many jokes that like my husband and my kid actually they have the same sense of humor now.
Mhm.
They'll just find these things so funny. I can't think of one off the top of my head because I don't find them funny, so I don't remember them. But they'll both look at me and be like, "You just don't have a sense of humor." And I'm like, "No, I find things humorous. There are things that are funny. That is not funny."
No, no, it just didn't strike the funny nerve. Yeah.
No,
It's
no.
so cute though with my oldest because he gets it, but there's always a delay.
I
And
love
we
that.
just tease him because we'll crack a joke and
Yeah.
then he'll sit there stone face and then oh ha 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 ha. And I'm just like, okay, there was that long pause where you could
Right.
see that it was processing, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then he
I'm
gets it.
picturing like on a computer screen where it circles and circles the
Yeah,
process.
yeah, it's loading. Yes, his
Yes.
processor is a little slow.
Yeah.
His
Oh, that's
memory
funny.
works like crazy. It's fast, but
Right? Same with my
CPU works overtime, but his
right?
processor.
Right, exactly. And they remember everything. My kid will be like,
Hmm.
"Hey, remember that towel I had when I did swim lessons?" I'm like, "I do away?" And she'll be like, "The one that used to turn into a backpack." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, where did that go? I don't remember." And she'll be like, "Yeah, I really want it." I'm like, "Well, I, it's been like 10 years. I don't know."
I remember telling my mom it was my brother was just born, and my grandma came over, and I wanted to hold my baby brother, right?
Aw,
And I told grandma after a while because nobody would let me hold my baby brother. I didn't realize at the time how old I actually was until after the fact. But I told my mom this, and I said I remember telling grandma I can't wait till you go home so I can hold my little brother. And I got in trouble for saying that, not knowing.
yeah.
And I told my mom that. She's like, "How did you remember that? You were 18 months old." And I was like, "Well, I did. I mean,
Yeah. The
I
crazy
taught my
things.
yeah, I taught myself to read when I was 4, which not a lot of people do."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially those that are dyslexic.
Yeah, I had, you know what? I didn't have a problem reading so much that I just passed over the words. My brain didn't see them, so I just
Ah,
assumed they
yeah.
weren't there. And
There
unless
you
it
go.
was messing up with the context, I didn't really matter.
Right, it's true. You
Yeah.
don't need to read every single word to get to
Yeah,
know
you
the
just
story.
skim. I
Yeah,
skim like nobody's business.
right? It's perfect.
Yeah.
We are running out of time again. Ugh, we have
Darn
such
it.
good conversations. Like, ugh. So I want to make sure to give you a chance, of course, to promote yourself.
Yes.
So first, of course, you have to give one piece of wisdom to a new parent, not necessarily like not a new parent, but a parent who is getting a new diagnosis for their children. What is your piece of wisdom?
They're not hopeless. They can learn. You just have to work a little harder. And the problems that you're facing today, my mantra was by the time they get to college, I'm sure they'll be potty trained. So
Yes, I
it's just a
love
matter of
it.
perspective. You're in the trenches, you're in the war, but the war will end and then they will be grown-ups and you'll be like, "Why was I so worried about that?" Yeah. Take lots of pictures though cuz they'd grow up really fast.
Way too fast.
Yeah.
My this morning because we were watching the hockey game. I'm not going to talk about that. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
but the memory on my Facebook came up, and it was ice skating, which we have done I think twice in 20
Mhm.
years. So it's funny
Yes.
that it landed on today and came up during the game. But it was when Lev, so she's 19 now. She was 2. And I'm
Oh.
looking at this picture. She's just this tiny little thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she was so little and cute.
Yeah.
Like now you're a giant pain in my butt instead of a little pain in my butt.
I remember my older one was 7, my little guy was 5, and I told my older one, I was like, "You're growing too fast. You need to stop growing so fast." And he says to me, "If you stop feeding me, I can grow backwards," which is cute for a 7-year-old. And
It
then
is.
here's my 5-year-old, you know, the little 9 going on 90. He was
Yeah.
5 at the time, and he says, "No, then you'll just die hungry." And I'm like, "Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you're not wrong."
No, not at all.
Yeah. So
I
he's
love
already
that.
grown up.
Exactly. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. All right. So You kind of already let the cat out the bag, but tell us, tell us.
So you can check out me and all my books at my website. It's the best place to start at www.jmshawauthor.com. You can find write-ups of my books. You can find links to them online. At the bottom, you can find my Facebook and Instagram so you can see what else I'm doing in the future. You'll have to follow me along and find out. My first 4 books are there, and my 5th one is in the works, and then I'm also working on a side project.
Love that. I'm trying to think. I think I only read 3.
The 4th one came out last summer, so maybe you haven't gotten it yet.
Maybe not. We will need to rectify this. You will need to follow up with Mickey and rectify this.
Absolutely.
What was
Forsaken Souls is the name of my 4th book, and it continues my protagonist's journey.
Yeah, because the last one I read, it was about the harpies, mostly.
It's The Fractured Veil you would have read.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's number 3?
Yes.
Yeah, so I did not read number 4. So you need to rectify that with Mickey and tell him to send it to me.
Awesome. I can do that.
And then when number 5 comes out, then obviously we'll get that one too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Are you allowed to say anything about this side project?
It's a dystopian Robin Hood meets Romeo and Juliet with hints of Hunger Games.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
And when are you projecting that for?
I still have to write it. I've got it plotted. I've started writing it. I have to finish it, and then it's got to be edited. So probably not this year, but
no.
Next year I'm aiming for.
Yeah,
I'm working on my 5th one. I'm hoping to have it finished so that it can be edited and released next year.
Very nice. Yeah. It gives everyone a chance to read the Callum Walker series now. And get ready for your new thing.
Yes, because we follow our protagonist, and I mean, like, you can start anywhere in my series. You will know that there's things that have happened.
Just go to the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, most people start at the beginning because then you can see where it all started.
Right.
Yeah.
And now that you've re-released the first one,
new chapters, new material, new cover.
Right. It's very pretty. You want to show it?
I am so proud of this.
It's very pretty. Sorry for everybody who's listening and not watching.
If you go to my website, you can see it. It's the Ascension. So
there you go. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again.
Absolutely.
And you are definitely welcome to come back another day, and we will just pick up where we left off.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
And remember, everybody who is listening, to hit the like and subscribe button. Do it. We are over 300 finally on YouTube anyways. So just let's keep bringing the number up because it's very exciting. Makes me very happy. And we are coming up to our 5-year anniversary of the show.
I heard about that.
Right? It is kind of insane. Especially like people with autism and ADHD. Like, yeah, okay, we got hyperfixed on stuff, but then we also like lose complete interest in it and never pick it back up again. So this is pretty incredible that I'm like,
it must be your special interest, but also too, you start something, you work on it, you don't realize how much time has passed too. So that's
true.
That's another thing.
Very true. So 5 years is coming up in March. I am attempting to try something special. I don't know what it's going to be. I haven't decided, but tune in around March 23rd, I want to say, and we're going to, I don't know what I'm doing. I've got no idea, but that is the day of days. Always make sure to share these episodes. We talk about very important things. You never know. I mean, this one we talked a lot about, late diagnosis, but also a lot of stuff about parenting. And you never know what a parent is going through. We try to hide it real hard. So, if all you do is share this episode and some parent looks and goes, oh, autism and parenting. Yeah, maybe I'm going to watch this. You might just make somebody's day. You never, ever know. And remember, the only way to end the stigma of mental health is to speak openly and honestly. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye.